I'm Brian Ferro with Feedzai, and this is your weekly update. This week, I want to talk to you about the $30 million fine that was levied against Robinhood by the New York State Department of Financial Services. The DFS is the regulator for the financial services industry in New York State, which also includes New York City. So as you can imagine, they got a wide overview of a lot of different institutions, including Robinhood. In their discovery, they noted that Robinhood failed to certify and maintain both their AML program as well as their cybersecurity program. But let's focus in on the AML side. As Robinhood continued to grow and the volume of transaction increased through that company, they failed to update their AML program from what was a manual process into an automated process. What this really meant was, at the time of the finding, Robinhood had over 4,000 alerts in their backlog, specifically around the transaction monitoring side. A huge amount of work that the company could not work themselves away from. This is important because this is the first fine the DFS has levied against a virtual asset company. And what does this really mean? The DFS is now looking at virtual asset companies and scrutinizing them just as much as they would a financial institution. This is really a shot across the bow for those virtual asset providers, and the fact that DFS is looking at them and has the expectation for their AML programs to be just as robust as the financial institutions. But if you take a look at the wider market and what this means to financial service providers as a whole, this really emphasizes the need for automation and efficiencies within the transaction monitoring solutions as well as the AML solutions overall. There's absolutely the need for moving from a manual process into an automated process. Now, 4,000 alerts is a lot of alerts, but that's unfortunately not unheard of. So any institution that's finding themselves getting into a backlog really needs to look at what they can do to help reduce that backlog and create efficiencies for their investigators to eliminate the noise and then focus their time on those meaningful alerts, and therefore what is more meaningful from an investigative standpoint to law enforcement agencies as a whole. Thank you for listening. This is Brian Ferro with Feedzai, and this has been your weekly update.